Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. For today's video, we've got the next part of the Bancroft School Maths sample paper for 2022. So let's put our thinking caps back on and dive straight into these solutions. Okay, so here for this question, we're told there are 50 houses on the north side of the road, and their numbers go up in twos from 1 to 99. But then we're told that houses 17 to 41 are unfortunately demolished. So if that happens, how many houses are left standing on this north side of the road? So we start at the fact that we know there are 50 houses, okay? And really, all we have to do to work out how many houses are left standing is simply we have to take the 50 and minus the number of houses that are demolished. And if we take 50 and minus the demolished houses, we should be left with the houses left standing. Left stand. Okay. So how many houses were demolished? This part of the equation. Well, we're told it's houses 17 to 41. But how many houses does that actually represent? Well, it goes back to the question. We know that the numbers of these houses go up in twos from 1 to 99. So we have number 1, we have number 3, we have house number 5, house number 7, house number 9, 11, 13, 15, 17. It goes up like that. So here, if we have 17 to 41, then that means the houses that are actually demolished are going to be house number 17, house number 19, house number 21, 23. So we need to understand how this is actually working. So to work out how many houses are demolished, we can think about this very practically. Let's go back to the very start. We have 0 to 10. Between the numbers 0 and 10, how many houses are there if we're counting up and going up in twos? We have house number, put it in black. We have house number 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Between 10 and 20, same thing. We have house number 11, 13, 15, 17, 19. So between a gap of 10, so 0, 10, 10, 20, 20, 30, we should have 5 houses. 5 houses. So now we're trying to work out the number of houses between 17 and 41 because that will tell us how many houses are demolished. Well, if we think about it, 17 and 41. Well, going from the 10 to 20 bracket, we're going to have house number 17 and house number 19 demolished. And then going from the 20 to 30 bracket, we're going to have 5 houses demolished. Like we worked out, there's 5 houses every 10. Then between the 30 and 40 bracket, we're going to have again 5 houses demolished. And then of course, in the 40 to 50 bracket, we have house number 41 demolished. So altogether, let's put it in a different color. Let's say green. We have 2 houses demolished here in this bracket, 5 houses here, 5 houses here, and then 1 house here. So altogether, the number of houses demolished is going to be 2 plus 5, 7, plus 5, 12, plus 1, 13. So 13 houses demolished. But overall, we have 50 minus 13 giving us, well, 50 minus 10 is 40. 40 minus 3 is 37. So yes, overall, our answer should be 37 houses are left standing on the north side of this road. Okay, so here for this next set of questions, we can see that we have to be comfortable with percentages. So here for part A, what is 60% of 45 plus 40% of 45? Well, here, we just have to zoom out and use our brain and see what's going on here. If we have a bottle and we're told to work out what 40% of that bottle plus 60% of that bottle equates to, well, it's just going to be the full bottle, because 40% and 60% makes 100%. So here, without doing a single line of working, if you zoom out and you see what's going on, we should know the answer here is 45. So here for part B, we have 40% of 52, take away 52% of 40. So we can start with this first one, 40% of 52. And here we can use our understanding that every single percentage is really a fraction in disguise, because 40% is simply 40% of 100%, which cancels down to, well, from 40 over 100 cancels down to 2 over 5, using our common factor of 20, right? Because 20 goes into 40 2 times, and 20 goes into 100 5 times. So 2 over 5. So we have 2/5 of 52. And remember, in maths, when it comes to percentages, of is simply a code word. It simply means multiplication. So we have 2 over 5 times 52 over 1. Well, how do we do this? First, let's start by multiplying the two numerators, giving us 104, divided by the two denominators, 5. So we have 104 divided by 5. Well, 5 goes into 100 20 times, giving us a remainder of 4. 5 does not go into 4, so we add a decimal point and we add a 0. 5 does go into 48 times. So that means that overall 104 divided by 5 is 20.8. Okay. Let's clear up this space, because now we're going to move on to 52% of 40, and we can work this out a bit differently. We could do the whole thing of converting 52% into 52 over 100, but we can also do it a slightly quicker way, another way, because of this actual number. This number lends itself to a quicker way of working it out, a quicker solution. Here we can use standard percentages. And what are standard percentages? Well, we know pretty quickly what 50% of any number is, right? It's pretty simple. Just divide it by 2, just half it. So 50% of 40 is 20, just half of 40. We also know pretty quickly what 1% of any number is. Simply divide it by 100. So 40 divided by 100 is 0.4. So that means we know what 2% is. Just double 1%, 0.8. So 52% is simply going to be 50% plus 2%, which equals 20.8. So now we have 40% of 52 take away 52% of 40, which actually ends up being 20.8 minus 20.8, which equals 0. Now, you may have noticed the interesting fact that 40% of 52 is the same thing as 52% of 40. But if you go through the fractions and you turn it all into maths, it should make sense pretty soon why that is always the case. But for now, let's move on to C. So for C, we have 72% of 87 plus 87% of 28. So for this first one, let's again use standard percentages. This time I'm going to start with 10%, which is 8.7, and then 1%, which is 0.87. So to get 72%, we multiply this by 7, and we multiply this by 2. So 8.7 times 7, mental maths. 8 times 7 is 56. 0.7 times 7 is 4.9. So 56, 4.9, 60.9. Then we have 1% times 2. So 0.87 multiplied by 2. Now, just to make sure we don't make any silly mistakes, let's just do it manually. 14, carry the 1. 16, add the 1, 17. So it's going to be 1.74. So now 72%, add those two things together because this is 70%. This is 2%. So we add it together, 4, 9 plus 7 is 16, or the 1, 2, and then 6. So we have firstly here 62.64. And in actual fact, let's do the same thing for 87%. Start at standard percentages. 80, we make it from 10%, and 7, we make it from 1%. 10% of 28 is 2.8. 1% is 0.28. Multiply this by 8 to get 80%. Multiply this by 7 to get 7%. So 2.8 times 8, well, 2 times 8 is 16. 0.8 times 8 is 6.4. So we have 16 plus 6.4, which is 22.4. And then we have 0.28 times 7. Let's do it manually. 7 times 8, 56. 2 times 7, 14, plus the 5, 19. So 1.96. Add it all together. Let's align this a bit better. So we have 1.96. Add these, we have 6, 13, carry the 1, 3, 4, 2, 24.36. So now we have 62.64. 24.36. Add these together. You have 0 and 1. We have, again, 10, carry the 1. 3, we have 7. And then we have 8. 87.00, or just 87. That is our answer. Okay, so that is all for today. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you're the first to know when the next video is released. And on that note, I will see you all next time.